Imagine a universe where creation doesn't begin with a single moment, but cycles endlessly through birth, death, and rebirth, where gods dream worlds into existence and the entire cosmos floats on an infinite ocean of milk, where time itself is just a breath of the divine. This isn't fantasy. This is the Hindu story of creation, one of the oldest and most mind-bending origin stories ever conceived. And what it reveals about existence will challenge everything you thought you knew about how we got here. Because in this story, there is no beginning, there is no end, there is only the eternal dance of creation and destruction, spinning forever in the mind of God. Before anything existed, there was nothing. Not darkness, not emptiness, not even the concept of nothingness itself. The ancient Hindu texts, the Vedas, describe this state as beyond human comprehension, a reality where existence and non-existence had no meaning. This wasn't the void of modern physics or the emptiness we imagine when we close our eyes. This was something far more profound. It was the unmanifest potential of everything that would ever be. And floating in this impossible non-space was a single being, a presence so vast that calling it a god seems inadequate. This was Vishnu, the preserver, lying in cosmic sleep on the coils of Ananta, the infinite serpent with 1,000 heads, drifting on the primordial ocean that existed before oceans had meaning. As Vishnu dreamed, something miraculous occurred. From his navel, a lotus began to grow, its stem rising through dimensions of reality, its petals unfurling with impossible geometry. And seated on that lotus was Brahma, the creator, awakening to consciousness with a singular purpose, but no memory of how he came to be. Brahma opened his eyes and looked around, seeing nothing but endless water and the sleeping form of Vishnu below. Confusion gripped him. Who am I? Where did I come from? What is this place? These weren't just Brahma's questions. They were the universe asking itself into existence. So Brahma began to meditate, diving deep into his own consciousness, searching for answers in the only place they could be found, within. For thousands of cosmic years he sat in meditation, and slowly, understanding dawned. He was the instrument of creation, and the time had come to begin. But Brahma faced a problem. How do you create a universe from nothing? The answer lies in one of Hinduism's most profound concepts. Everything that exists is already contained within the divine consciousness. Creation isn't making something from nothing. It's the unfolding of what already exists in potential form within the mind of God. Brahma began to divide himself, splitting his being into complementary forces. He created the principles of existence, time and space, matter and energy, consciousness and form. From his thoughts came the Vedas, the sacred knowledge that would structure all reality. From his breath came the rhythms that would govern cosmic cycles. And then came the blueprint for life itself. Brahma created the 7 great sages, the Saptarishi, who would go on to populate the universe with beings of every kind. He fashioned the gods and the demons, the celestial realms and the earthly planes. He wove together the fabric of karma, the law of cause and effect that would govern every action in every lifetime. If this story is expanding your mind, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss our deep dives into the world's most fascinating creation myths. Drop a comment telling me which creation story you want to hear next. But here's where the Hindu story diverges radically from most creation myths. In many traditions, creation happens once, linearly, with a clear beginning and eventual end. Not in Hinduism. According to the ancient texts, what Brahma created wasn't the first universe. It was one universe in an endless cycle of universes, each existing for one day in the life of Brahma. And that day, it lasts 4.32 billion years. When Brahma's day ends, the universe dissolves back into the cosmic ocean, returning to that state of unmanifest potential. Vishnu sleeps. And when Brahma awakens again, he creates anew. This cycle repeats for 100 years of Brahma's life, with each year containing 360 of these cosmic days and nights. When you do the math, we're talking about timescales that dwarf modern cosmology, periods so vast that human comprehension simply breaks down. And when Brahma finally dies after his 100-year lifespan, another Brahma is born, and the cycle begins again, forever. But creation is only one part of the story. Enter Shiva, the destroyer, the third member of the Hindu trinity. While Brahma creates and Vishnu preserves, Shiva's role is to end each cosmic cycle, clearing the way for renewal. This isn't destruction as we understand it, some malevolent force bent on annihilation. It's transformation, the necessary dissolution that allows new forms to emerge. The ancient texts describe Shiva performing the Tandava, the cosmic dance that shakes the foundations of reality itself. His dance represents the constant movement of the universe, the eternal rhythm of creation, preservation, and destruction, happening simultaneously at every moment. Every atom vibrates with this dance. Every star that's born and dies echoes its rhythm. You, reading this right now, are part of Shiva's dance, your cells dying and regenerating, your thoughts arising and dissolving, your very existence a temporary pattern in the eternal flow. This brings us to perhaps the most revolutionary aspect of Hindu cosmology, the nature of reality itself. According to these ancient teachings, the universe we perceive isn't ultimately real. It's Maya, often translated as illusion, but more accurately understood as the divine play or cosmic illusion. Everything we see, touch, taste, and experience is a projection of consciousness, a dream in the mind of Brahma, or, more accurately, in the unified field of consciousness that pervades everything. This doesn't mean the universe doesn't exist. It means it doesn't exist in the way we think it does. It's real in the way a dream is real to the dreamer, substantial and meaningful within its own context, but ultimately a temporary manifestation of something deeper and more fundamental. And what is that fundamental reality? Brahman, the ultimate consciousness, the ground of all being, infinite, eternal, and unchanging, the one reality from which all apparent multiplicity springs. Here's where it gets personal. According to Hindu philosophy, you aren't separate from this cosmic story. You're not some accidental byproduct of creation, not a tiny speck lost in an incomprehensibly vast universe. The deepest teaching of the Upanishads, the philosophical texts that explain the Vedas, is captured in one phrase: Tatvam asi, that thou art, the consciousness that looks out through your eyes, that thinks your thoughts, that experiences your life, is the same consciousness that dreamed the universe into being. You are not in the universe. The universe is in you. Your true nature, your Atman or individual soul, is identical with Brahman, the cosmic soul you've simply forgotten. Creation, in the Hindu view, is God playing hide and seek with itself, consciousness deliberately fragmenting into countless beings, each forgetting its divine nature so it can rediscover it. Every life you live, every experience you have is part of that rediscovery. So why does any of this happen? Why does consciousness divide itself? Why does the universe cycle endlessly through creation and destruction? The ancient sages offered an answer that might surprise you. Lila, the divine play. The universe exists because consciousness delights in experiencing itself through infinite forms. There's no ultimate purpose beyond the experience itself. It's art for art's sake, existence for the joy of existing. But within this cosmic play, individual souls journey toward moksha, liberation, the realization of their true nature as Brahman. This isn't about escaping to some heavenly realm. It's about waking up to what you've always been, recognizing that you were never separate from the source. And once that recognition occurs, once you see through the veil of Maya completely, you exit the cycle of rebirth. Not because you're destroyed, but because you've remembered that you were never truly born, that you are the eternal witness, the unchanging consciousness behind all changing forms. The Hindu interpretation of creation offers something rare, a creation story that's also a meditation on consciousness, a cosmology that's simultaneously a psychology, a myth that contains within it the seed of direct experience. It tells us that the universe is far stranger and more beautiful than we imagined, that time operates on scales that humble our brief lives, and that the ultimate truth of existence might be found not by looking outward at the cosmos, but inward at the nature of consciousness itself. We're not just stardust. We're the universe, waking up to itself, consciousness playing at being human, divinity temporarily forgetting its nature so it can rediscover the wonder of what it's always been. If this journey through Hindu cosmology resonated with you, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more explorations of world mythology and spirituality, and let me know in the comments what aspect of this creation story fascinated you most. See you in the next one.